next up, we've got a couple of guest speakers tonight. And first one we're going to have up is Tyne Cuttance. He did very well at this comp last year and in the Flathead Classic, so he's going to give us a few tips and pointers and tell us what he did right. Tyne, you there, mate? Okay, so Tyne was the individual Flathead Classic champion. Tyne, come on, Mark. Congratulations, mate, on the last year. I'm going to sort of run down on what you did, how you did it, what you used, where you went, what are you looking at done? All right, thanks, mate.
Yeah, so last year we had a pretty good pond. We had, like, I did a lot of fishing in the lead up, so I was sort of trying to be on the water like 3 to 4 times a week. Got the confidence up, I sort of was on a good little pattern, which was very helpful leading into the pond. So I started like fishing on the tide tank in that morning, just in the deep water, trying to sort of get a couple on the board and then so hopefully get a big one. And then the rest of the game plan was to mainly troll and try and use like casting as a bit of like an opportunistic thing. If we saw something that was like worth casting out, a good drain, lots of pelicans on bank or something like that, then I was going to cast. But other than that, it's just a troll and try and grind out numbers. Sort of try to stick to the basics, didn't take any big lures. Just wanted to throw 3 sort of 4-inch lures and then troll and work on ticking over numbers, not try and muck around with big lures and try to get big fish. So I wasn't catching big ones in the lead up, so I'm just sort of trying to stick to what I was doing in the lead up. And yeah, paying off.
No worries. Did you have a favourite lure or anything that really stood out for you?
In the lead up, yeah, probably like a little tango shell on the troll side, and then like a little coin, sort of 3.5 inches, definitely doing well in the lead up. And during the comp, we fished around with a little lead, so that little coin was sort of gliding over the leads, just staying over, which is good. What kind of prawn was it? Yeah. It's a regular prawn. It's like a sort of motor oil. It's like a just pretty standard flathead color with the crazy.
Okay. You've got a couple of your rods and stuff here. You want to just run it through what you use?
So that's just normal tango shell on a little troll. So it's 6 foot sounding, it's short, hydration with a lot of troll. Just 6-pound braid, 10-pound leader, just really light. I like to no clip, no split ring in the front. There's a lot of snotweed around that fish, so that's what helps with flipping it off and keeping sort of a crap off frame. Yeah, so it's always so you can sort of flip it off a lot easier that way, I find. It's people like to clip, just sort of personal preference.
Okay. And what's your others you got here? Okay, everyone just be a bit careful with these here.
Pretty standard flathead, almost really went to 3,000 with like 8-pound braid, 16-pound leader, 7 foot, 6-pound lock. I use that Seaway, my single rock became my creative pounds sugar from the carboys, little plastics, whatever you want to try. Pretty standard color for
This plastic here, most of the guys would have seen that before. Could you tell us what that one is?
It's the little AMD flatfish, 110 mil, there's 140 as well, that 110 to go straight. Little flathead. We used that on the last day, and I smacked the record. Just sort of glides and sits on top of the wave, doesn't like very right. So yeah, we got it work really well.
Okay. And the last one you have here, that's a little prawn.
Yeah, so again, standard sort of flathead, where it's 5-pound, 6-pound braid on it, 12-pound leader, and it's got a little vibe on that glone, but exactly little plastic 1/4 ounce, 1/8, little box, good scrap. That's a little did corn bob.
All right, well, thank you very much for that time. I know someone's going to have to get up and talk in front of people. So, big round of applause for Tyne. Thanks for giving us that. It's called the Mad Hueys Heritage. And they're the champion 319 from the Flathead Classic last year. These guys are coming along and they're going to share a few of their tips and tricks as well. So if we can get Ben and Brad and Ross up here, just give us a few pointers on what they grow. All right, guys, so what we'll do, because it's 3 years, we're just going to pass the mic along and just tell us what you think work, tricks, tips to you, stuff like that.
Okay, so what we thought I'll talk a bit about how we run last year. Benny can talk about some soft plastics and Brad can talk about some trolling. So a bit about us, we've been fishing together as a team since 2005. I've been fishing in the Classic since 2001, and Benny and Brad are the only two people that fished in every Classic. So they started off when Benny was six, and they fished the whole time together. So the first 4 years I fished, I was lucky enough to fish with Greenie and Dave and Mick. So the first year we fished was in 2001. That's the first year I fished in the Classic, and we were lucky enough to win that first year, and we went on to win 4 years in a row. So that was really good for Greenie and Mick and I. We were a pretty good team. And then I had to go up North Island fishing the next year, and then Greenie got another team. So when I came back, our team formed. And I think the first year we fished together, we won. Yeah. And and we fished in Margaret Coast, Sparrow Coast, and we fished together all the time. So we've become a really, really tight team, and we fish hard. And there's never anything too much goes wrong on our team. But going to the Flathead Classic last year, we usually fish at the bin or north of the bin, and we'd been fishing a crab a little bit and sort of realised that there was quite a lot of fish there, and there was quite a lot of fish sort of 45 to 60. So we thought for a change, we'll try down here. But you know, as a team, we talk a lot about tactics and what we're going to do and where we're going to fish. And the tide suited to start at the Seaway. We started at the Seaway, didn't do much good, and then we went to a few other places and didn't do much good. And then eventually the tide started dropping out. We had a pretty good bottom. But as a team, we're a very adaptable team. We can fish in the deep, trolling, casting, and anyway, and we've got really good at processing fish. And I probably drive the boat. Benny will net the fish, and usually Benny logs them in. So the thing is, when you fish together in the Flathead Classic, when you get onto a hot bite, you got to be really slick and get everything done really quick and get your line back on the water, because we have periods sometimes where you don't catch anything, or a plan that you use doesn't work, and you can't let it get you down. You just got to keep persevering. But then usually when we get on the fish, we really make them count. So I think last year we caught 130 fish in the 3 days. So we had a pretty quiet first days. I think we were 1,000 points behind Tommy and the Nomad teams. And we tried a lot of things, and we did get onto a bit of a light late in the afternoon, which sort of, when you're 1,000 points behind such a good team as the Nomad team, we were sort of, it's always going to be a bit of a hard road. Then on the second day, we had a very good day, but we were helped by the massive storm that came through. So we were probably lucky we were fishing down this end, and the big storm came through it, and everyone that was fishing at the pin, it was virtually impossible to fish down there for lightning and rain and storms. But we were at Crow Island. It was still really bad. It's still 30 knots, but and horizontal rain. It was really hard work. So we had to devise a plan that we couldn't use the electric because it was too windy. So we put the anchor out there where we thought there was some fish, and surprisingly, the harder the wind blew and the harder the rain was, the more the fish bit. I think at one stage we had 8 or 9 fish swimming around in the bottom of the boat because it was raining that much, trying to process them with the getting on the pipes to send them back, and it was it was remarkable to catch that many fish in that bad of conditions. So by the end of the second day, we were 600 points behind Tommy. So going into the last day, we sort of, it's still a fair few points, especially, as I said, that Tommy's a previous winner, and the Nomad team were fishing not far away from us, and they're very good fishermen as well. So we just had to have a meeting the last day. We go and fish, do our thing, not worry about anyone else, not worry about the scoreboards, and just put our confidence in what we could do. And we finished up having a really good day the last day. I think we got about 1,200 points, so we won by 200 points. So that was our third win as a team, and although it probably seems to be the favourite win, but every win's a good win. So, if you want any questions or anything like that about the comp and about, tactics or anything like that, just be correct.
Couldn't tell you.
So as I said, what I think it makes attractive for us as a team is we are very, very, very flexible, and we usually fish out of my boat, which is a small boat with a tiller steer, which I really believe gives you a big advantage over a big boat with a big motor, because obviously we get a lot of fish polling, and we've got a lot of fish in the shallow, so we can go in shallow water, and we find it much, much easier to fight fish out of a small boat that's going to walk right round. Like we sort of pride ourselves on, we rarely ever lose many fish, and a lot of the reason is that we walk around with the fish when we get them on, don't try to pull the fish to the boat. The fish wants to go around the front, walk around with it, and keep as much, just a light pressure on without trying to really force the fish. And with the 60 Yamaha, it's an excellent motor for patrolling the shallows because you've got a low oil and you can slow down and go as slow as you want. But so we're very, very flexible in that we can troll, and that if we get a few fish trolling, we can stop and cast, and very slick at, swapping over from one thing to another. And then if the tide's in and want to try it the seaway, these days you have to be good at doing catch them every way you can. It's that many good teams are in a comp these days that it's harder and harder to win, and there's that many people fishing that previously in the past it's been probably one a few times catching big fish in the deep, but these days there's that much pressure and that many people fishing the deep. I sort of believe that you really want to be targeting those 45, 50, 60 centimetre fish rather than catching the big ones. So that's sort of our plan, is to do whatever and whenever and be flexible and be ready to go. So Yeah, we probably fish a lot lighter than we used to. Although these days with the braid, you can get we all sort of probably use 12-pound braid, but you can get it so thin that now it's like using 6-pound braid. And all three of us usually use a bite-off leader because I don't believe that you should use anything wider than a hard 12 on your lures. So we sort of use a hard 12. We use the Quattro stuff, and it's very good for us on our lighter gear, and then 20-pound bite-off leaders on our heavy gear. I don't believe that by going super light, we go fairly light on our longer leader, but almost have a little bit of a bite-off leader. Yeah, so that's about it for tactics, and yeah, but if you can go to the plastics.
Thanks, Roscoe. We've got some gear here too if anyone wanted to have a look after lures and rods and with the bite leaders and stuff like Ross mentioned. So I guess I'll talk about casting sort of techniques, plastics and stuff like that. In the classic, we do fish, the big hard bodies, the Tyne Cuttance, etc. But like Ross said, we sort of try to target those 45 to sort of 60 centimetre fish. So a lot of the time we're casting small hard bodies or plastics, all different types. We use tails a lot. A lot of lighter jig heads now. Back in the older days, we used to use a lot of 3/8 ounce and heavier. These days, we use a lot of 1/8 ounce to 3/8 being the heaviest. Things like that definitely make a huge difference, especially after 3 days of getting tempted by 250 boats. So that's a big thing for us. Super light and just little bumps and things like that make a huge difference for flathead, especially in pressure conditions. So basically, yeah, we sort of specialise in low tide, fishing a lot of little drains and little weed edges and stuff like that. And so Ross was in a good spot there, so we could just kind of work along those edges and just keep everything super slow and plenty of sand and stuff like that. Some of the rods coming through there now. As you can see, that's a McCarthy paddle tail with a 1/8 head. We use them a lot. We all kind of use them. Flat shacks are great. Got a heap of them sort of rigged up there. I personally like the flat shack. You can fish them a bit heavier, head up to sort of 3/8 ounce. It's great. When you sort of up along the top of the pin there, you need to go a little bit heavier, so that's a good sort of small profile that can handle a big head. But yeah, so again, we've got some gear here we can pass around or we've got a look, and if you've got any questions on what sort of stuff we use or what we're looking for, just see out.
What's that to work?
The bait pop was really good. We used that last year. It was great. Alternatively, S Factor is really good. We've sort of always used that. But the bait pop's really good too. I think I never used to be a huge believer in scent. I just thought, they got it's a reaction buy, but I'm a huge believer in scent now. I think it's imperative that you run that. You might not get more bites initially, but you definitely get a lot come back. If you miss it, you'll definitely come back. Well, not definitely, but probably 80% of the time it will come back. So,
You'll see you use clips.
yeah, we use the little musset clip. Like I've tried with and without clips. I don't think it makes any difference. The only thing is we try to keep minimal rods on the deck. So with those clips, you can change your lure super quick. If you want to mix it up, you have 10 rods on the deck, you can just have your 1 or 2 that you're using on the deck and just quickly change your lure. And I just keep a little tray similar to what I've got there. Just like my players. that I've been pre-fishing with. I keep it pretty simple, just in few natural, few brighter colours, different weight jig heads, and then I can just kind of change. If I feel like I'm using a 1/4 ounce and I'm not getting down, I can just quickly change to a 3/8 ounce and then keep the same rod. And I personally think that's the way to do it. And then the way we do it with that little bite off leader works good because you're not cutting and retying all the time, because we only fish sort of this much. So if you're cutting and retying all the time, you'd be forever putting a new bite off leader on.
What rod do you use? Just a WD or?
I use to join the two together. I use a full blood rod. But a WD knot is fine. A full blood knot's a bit more like barrel shade, so it doesn't catch the lean as much, but WD is great as well. It's a lot quicker, WD. Football head is good. Depending on the shape of the plastic, but McCarthy, football head, yeah. Yeah, and as Ross just said, when it gets windier, we go up in weight. So 1/8 would be perfect conditions, no wind, not a lot of run. As it gets windier or more run, heavier jig head. You got to always be making contact with the bottom. If you're not feeling it, get to the bottom, must go heavier.
Any special genes?
Mix it up, jigging or trees, so mix it up all the time, like using slower, sometimes even just a slow roll, but most of the time just a slow sort of hop. The days of fast jigging, like in the early 2000s, like it was all 2-3 holes as fast as you could. For us personally, that doesn't work as good anymore. It's a lot slower, a lot stealthier, and but the action of the lure really go. And a lot easier, yeah, on the body. And yeah, paddle tails, like we used to, it was sort of originally a paddle tail thing, early 2000s, well, the Brunowski shad, a few people would remember them. They were like the cutting edge plastic. We always used them, and then it kind of went to jerk shads. Everyone sort of started using up the jerk shad side. And I remember a guy, Roderick Walmsley, I don't know if you people would know him. We fished with him a couple of years. He came over from South Africa and brought these jerk shads. And I remember we were talking about flathead fishing, and he said, "Oh, you got to use these." I said, "Oh, they've got no tail. They won't work. They don't have any action." And anyway, we started using them fishing with him, and we slayed them on them. And that was like for years we just used jerk shads. And then now I've sort of got back to done full circle, gone back to more paddle tails. But I'm sure the jerk shads are still catching. But yeah.
When do you decide to try?
When the fish, we've had plenty of times where we're fishing the exact same spot. We've been catching and then casting, and we will cast there and catch nothing. And then so, looks too good here, let's have a trial, and we'll trial and be getting climbed on straight away. We mix it up a lot. So we definitely have some spots that are trolling spots, some spots that are casting spots, but we definitely mix it up in most areas. But particularly, we troll a lot when we're looking for fish, when we're like, oh, this could be anywhere along here, then we'll troll and, sort of get, find where they are, then possibly stop and cast. But that's, basically how we...
Yeah, the hard problem for the time.
Yeah, middle of the time.
When it's an hour into the run out, the more you go to and things are tough. Maybe, you get control, you're not as fast, you're not as concentrating as much, and you've got 3 lures going, you can have a 5 to 8, something like that. Yeah. In the tough times, usually, control is you tick over one ending out, and then you're probably doing the right thing.
Anyone else on casting? I'll pass it over. Yeah.
It favorites sandbags, mudbang,
I like the mud bag. You've always got to have a bit of weed. I think that's a pretty important thing. But any kind of structure is good. mud, weed, sand, lay down timber, anything like that, any structure, any feature, that's where they'll be. If you had a huge, big, flat sandbank or nothing on it, you most likely will find that you won't fish there.
What happened up there? You reckon there's more on different certain sides that I happen?
That's a hard one. Yeah, it depends where the bait is. Yeah, the bait and the good water, that's mainly what we're looking for. And that can be anywhere. Some years, the best water and best bait is down here, like last year. Some years, the best water and the best bait's at the pin, and you've got to be sort of able to do both. And just the flooded will move, so you've got to be able to move around. I'll pass it over to Dan. You can talk a little about trolling and what we sort of look for trolling and how gear we use.
Okay, so back in '94 when we first started fishing the Flathead Classic, there was only one option. We just all troll. No braided line. We had mono line. Most of us didn't have sounders. So Ben and I just fished our little tinny and no sounders. A lot of the bigger boats that slow themselves down trolling would hang a bucket over the stern of the boat, slow them down. And we sort of learned that trying different lures helped had the, like obviously if you weren't hitting the bottom, it was too deep. So it became very important to us that you've got to be targeting your right lure and the right depth. And that hasn't changed to what we do today. Techniques have changed in that our gear is much better than what we had then. A lot of our rods were only fiberglass rods or composite, like a ugly stick or something like that. Monoline and our techniques were pretty primitive for what we use today. So now we've got braided line, we've all got sounders. Most of us, have got electrics for the casting side of things. Some people troll on their electric, but with like our Yamaha 60, you can drop the revs down, you can slow yourself down on the troll. Rods are better, they're more sensitive. There's components coming on the rods now that are even more sensitive than what we had, say, a couple of years ago. Reel seats are becoming carbon fibre, grips are carbon fibre, and the sensitivity through the rod is much better than what we had before. So you can feel every little bump as you're trolling along. When you look at where you troll, so you look at drop-offs, you need to know what lures you're going to troll. So we troll a lot of micro mullets. So we know they run in that sort of 2 metre to 3 metre maximum depth, but they really like 2 metres. So you fish along those edges and you watch your sounder the whole time. There's no use trolling that lure out to 4 metres, you're not going to catch any fish. So you need to be going there. Lure needs to be hitting the bottom, and you just got to watch those contours because all those bank edges that you troll, they go in and out all the time. So you have to be on the ball the whole time. The trolling's not about the matter if it's throwing your line out, just cruising along. You've got to be watching all the time, and that's where the telesphere really helps us because you can change direction very quickly. And then if you say, okay, well, it's high tide, and I don't want to troll that, and I want to go up onto the banks, and I want to troll some lures that run at a shallower depth, maybe at about 3 feet, you need to change your rod that you're going to do because you're going to use smaller lures there. Obviously, the bins are smaller, the lure's not going to go down as deep, so you need to change your rod. So it's a lighter action rod and it feels those subtle movements of your lure. If you still have your rod, you won't feel that movement there. So you don't basically know if you've got weed on or not. With weed, I like where we troll micro mullets, that sort of thing. They're a very good lure of clearing the weed. So I use a rod that's got a stiffer action. A lot of people use a soft rod, but I like one with a stiffer action because you can clear that weed off the lure. Not all lures will do that, but micro mullets are particularly good one at doing that. Tango shanks are very good at doing that as well, but probably micro mullets are the best that we've found. So when you go to the smaller lures, then you want a rather a lighter tip. So you're not so much feeling the action, but you just want to see the action. Yeah, any questions on that?
I can't deliver any challenges.
Oh, it's things like the duo spear. That's very good. That's a good rule for us last year. Runs it around the 3 feet mark, and that's perfect. You just want to have it so it's running above the weed, because a lot of those banks that we're trying over, you don't want to have a look that's hitting into the weed all the time and just it's constantly weeding up. So the more you can have your little working, the more chance you've got of catching fish.
So I think you go from the micro up.
Yeah, so you've got to look at the areas of control. So the micros are going to control those areas at 2 meters, they're in good depth there. You can go to an area that's a little bit deeper, say 3 meters. We've got areas like Jonesy's, or just find a lure that will run at that little bit deeper depth. It really doesn't.
What size sort of like that? More inch or?
Oh, we much what was that? Sort of 2 to 3 inches. That profile seems to work well.
Do you little vary your lengths? You know, line out back of your car?
Obviously, with 3 of us trolling, we vary our length. So usually Ross is trolling, so he goes in close, and then Ben and I stagger out. So when we do a turn, we're not getting tangled.
Do you ever try the plastics?
No, never tried from the classics, to be honest. So.
Are you fired on the boat?
No, we've known each other for a long time, Danny, and we're a pretty placid team. We have a few jokes and stuff like that, and we enjoy each other's company. And I don't think we're going to have a fight on the boat, so it's pretty good. Yeah, one other thing I'd like to say is, obviously we fish them. Obviously I fish a lot because that's what I do. But Benny and Brad do pre-fish a little bit too. But yeah, I do believe you can over pre-fish because obviously if you're going out there fishing now, it's a little bit irrelevant to what's going to happen when the Flathead Classic's around. So the main reason you probably go out fishing now would be to get your techniques right, get your lures right, and get your team together and have someone netting, have someone driving. I don't believe whoever's driving the boat should ever have to net a fish or process a fish. I think the job of driving the boat and putting the others on the fish, that's just what, just do that one job and let the others will take care of that and you'll get a lot more fish. We usually have a look the week before the classic, but we don't obviously go to any of our spots we want to go to and fish there. Just be more looking at the water, what the water quality is like, what the boat's like, and yeah, it's a bit stupid to go out 2 or 3 days before the classic and go to the spot and think, oh, we'll catch a few and get some confidence and then catch a few more. Like you're probably not going to catch those fish in the classic. And the other thing you should do, we always have a rough game plan, but a lot of the top days and times we've done really good. With that game plan's gone out, we've gone down and seen good water or seen birds or seen rain and then changed our technique and then got onto the fish and got onto them. And another thing that you shouldn't do is low fly other teams because it is impossible for you to see someone catching fish and drive past and go in there and start catching fish like they are. So, obviously with 300 boats, there's a lot of people fish close together, but we always say if the more teams around us, the more teams are going to be watching us catch fish, especially if they're driving past and see us catch them. And say, well, the fish are there, we'll go in there because we've been there, we know the area, we're tuning in to what's going to happen. So it's going to be very, very hard for you to come in there and start catching fish like we are. You're better off, trying to find your own little area where you think there's a few fish. Like in the classic these days, the days of going to Kalinga or the Seaway and staying there for the whole time, a wedding is, I don't think it'll ever happen again. You've got to find your own little spots, different stages of the tides, and go there and do well. It's it's so hard to see someone catching fish and going on their fish. And obviously the wind changes, the tide changes, the water changes, everything changes. So you gotta really get good at reading the water and going. If you see chocolate coloured water, you know you're probably not going to catch any fish. Some of the best days you can have, you can go. The water's dirty everywhere, and you find one little nice patch of good water, and then you stay there and catch the fish good.
With the water, like last year, the water was super clear. How do you find that when it's super clear?
Yeah, look, super clear is very hard fishing. I don't know where. The reason sort of why Cravola was good this year on the high tide it did get super clear. And if you keep moving till it's just clear, you're doing all right. Super clear water is very hard to catch. You will catch. Usually, I think at the Seaway, when it was super clear, on the second day, we might look some fish there, but like 30, 35s, and you probably knew the big ones were there, but it was just too clear. So just that milky off colour is the best, you know.
Okay, let's put our hands together for these guys and show them a little bit of